Good morning. When my wife Vanessa and I were in our younger married years, we worshiped at a church in Waco, Texas, where I was a member of a small singing team that was often called upon to sing at funerals. We had a relatively large elderly population, so we sang at a lot of funerals. In the beginning, I didn't really care for that responsibility, and over the course of time, I came to realize I really enjoyed it. And that may seem strange, but I often left those funerals with this sense of peace. Because you didn't just find out information about these people that died, you often found out about the impact that they had on other people's lives through the stories that were being told. And that was very often very inspiring to listen to. But it also made me very introspective. It made me think about my own life and what kind of legacy I wanted to leave, what kind of stories might be told when my time came. Well, this past Saturday, Vanessa and I attended a funeral of a friend where that thought of impact came up once again. This was a woman who was only 4'8" tall, very small package, but a very, very big personality. She was a person who, when she was happy, everybody in the world knew it, and when she was unhappy, everybody in the world kind of knew it. But she had been disabled for many years, relegated to a wheelchair. And throughout that, she never lost her spirit, her feistiness, her love of life. And she made an impression on many, many people. It was a 2-hour funeral, and many stories were told. But there was one in particular that caught my ear. A man got up and said, she was a person who left tracks on the ground. And that statement struck me, leaving tracks on the ground. Now, we're all familiar with that image. We go out in our yards in the morning and we'll see tracks of critters that have come through during the night. And if we look at them for just a few minutes, we can usually figure out what kind of an animal or a bird or a person that was by the tracks that we see. We can kind of identify what they were doing by virtue of where those tracks are centered. We can tell how big they were. We can say how long they stayed. We can determine where they came from and where they're going. The tracks that are left behind determine for us a picture of the priorities, the purposes, the pursuits of the one who left them behind. And so when someone has left tracks in the ground, they've left a picture that other people can follow. I think Jesus understood that very, very well. He often said two things to people he encountered. The first was, follow me. Walk in my footsteps. Walk in the tracks that I am leaving behind. But secondly, he would say, go. Go leave your own tracks. Leave impressions in the ground that others can then follow. The night before the funeral, ironically, our 3-year-old granddaughter spent the night with us. As she was getting ready for bed, she turned to my wife and she said, Grandma, when I grow up, I want to be a grandma. And my wife said, well, that's interesting. Why is that? And she said, because you're a grandma. Those are tracks in the ground. They're left where the ground is soft. And we need to be looking around us to think about, where is there soft ground around us? Where are we leaving impressions, good or bad, that will be remembered for years to come? If you're leaving impressions with the impressionable ones around you, and they're the ones you want to leave, keep doing it. Be intentional. If you look around and you're not thrilled with the impressions that you're leaving right now, it's never too late to change. You can change your shoes. You can change your ground, your direction. But you can leave impressions that will leave a lasting impact on the lives of those around you. This week, I want to encourage all of you. Leave tracks in the ground. Have a great week.